Hi folks, as you can tell by the title, the Realistic Goth. I'll explain what that's about in a minute. One or two other things first, starting with the usual. It's a nice Halloween mug. As you may have noticed, Halloween is on its way. In America, it's bloody sickening. They put pictures up. Bloody stores full of it. Here, you're lucky. One or two shops you can go to and get bits. But the vast majority won't be in the store till not long before Halloween. TK Maxx is probably one of the best. And the shop next to it, which I can't remember what it's freaking called, Home Bargains, I think, they have it in early. Luckily, where I go, they're next door to each other. But anyway, that's as it may be. The other bit which is on the spice, when I get it, all this lot, and most people will have had pepperoni before. Well, this has been in the shop, B&M, original pepperoni sticks, and these are called fire sticks. And I think I looked at them and thought, well, they're probably not going to be that blooming good really. There'll be a little bit of chili flavour to it, but they brought them down in price from around about £2 to £1.59, so if I'll get two, already eaten one flipping pack of 5. Yeah. What's good about them as well is you can do that and the single. So if you love them, you can stick one in a pocket, whatever, when you're going out, and when you peckish you can have a chew of half a dozen of them. But I tried them and surprisingly they pack a little punch. Not the hottest thing in the world, but they do pack a punch. So yeah, if you're anywhere, any store that sells the pepperoni sticks, if they got them, give them a try. Spice again. UK, I was told yesterday in Iceland, because I know I love hot spicy stuff. Coming up to Halloween, what they had in there last year, they had the little tubs of, it was Carolina Reaper chicken, something or the other. The ones you bring home hot up or sling in the microwave or whatever. But yeah, they had the Carolina Reaper ones last year, and they said they're back in this year. And the sauces, the bottles of Carolina Reaper sauce that were on the shelf, I had the last 2 bottles and then they never seemed to come back again. They're coming back Halloween time, and fingers crossed they'll bloody keep them. The chicken tub things, probably not. The last little bit, oil, beard oil. You can go and spend a lot of money on a beard oil, or you can do what I do. This is really good extra virgin olive oil. I usually buy a really good one, expensive, so I dip bread in. So this is a pretty good one. Use essential oil, your favourite essential oil. I've used black pepper because I happen to have it, and I quite like it because it's rustic. So in here there's about 5 drops. I can still sort of smell olive oil and not so much black pepper, so it might need a couple more. But anyway, yeah, in the mornings, a few squirts into your hand, and sometimes I'll put fingers in and I'll rub it in and into my tash, or you can warm it up like that and then get it in. But you need to get it deep in so it's going down to the skin, because olive oil is really blooming good. It's got loads of vitamin E, good for your beard, good for your skin, and it can help beard growth if you're a little bit thinny beard or whatever. But it's really good. There's loads of vitamin E, there's other stuff in there, and a dog ain't going to come up and start licking your flipping face or so. But it is good. Damn sight cheaper than buying something that size. So, and the other good thing is, I don't know if you can really see it, but if you look at a lot of photographs of my beard, or if I look in the mirror, my beard now is pretty flipping light grey with bits. But I put the oil on, whether it's this one I make or whether it's one I buy, and it goes darker. So it's win-win. Anyway, so there you go. That's got rid of the bits. The Realistic Goth. Where did that come from? Well, I stood in the kitchen this morning doing something, and things going around in my mind, and I thought, the Kilted Goth, I use that. You probably use the name. And I thought, if I didn't use the Kilted Goth, what could I use? They're not Kilted Goth. No, I thought, what could I use? And the name, the Realistic Goth, sort of popped into my head, because I've been thinking about it a lot lately. Things going through my brain, and I thought, the Realistic Goth. Why? Because I'm pretty realistic about things, and I've done videos on the subculture and how some people view the subculture from without it, from within it, how it affects people, and I thought, the Realistic Goth. Really, you've got to be realistic. I'm looking at lots of things I see every now and then. They come up every now and then, and it'll be a tag or something, and you get everybody going, oh, not another flipping tag. Oh, you followed that tag. Anyway, we're not really looking at tags, but in the past, people talk about goth and the subculture and what we should be doing and we shouldn't be doing and whatever. And there's points to that in different levels of degree, really. Some sort of important, some not so much, some not at all. But I thought, whatever, you've got to be realistic and not expect and not assume and not cajole, whatever. I said in a video a long time back if anything kills goth, it will die from within. And we've got to be very careful that, because it's lasted a lot of years, and you have to ask yourself, why has the goth subculture lasted a lot of years? And a lot of it, I think, is because we don't particularly have a goth Bible. We don't. Some people write books or whatever, call them goth Bibles, but we haven't got a definitive goth Bible. We haven't got a definitive set of goth rules or whatever. So I think that's helped us to survive, because we're not trying to run along tram lines and whatever. But I've noticed over a long period of time, when I've done videos, people have either left comments and have said, I understand what you mean, and it really gets up my nose because of this, or it gets up my nose because of that. They'll come back with all this stuff, and I could sit here all day sort of mentioning the different areas of it, but it'd be pointless, and I'd be doing the same bloody thing to some extent. But one of the things that I really notice over a period of time is how many goths now say, and when you look at them, they're goth. You don't look at them, you don't see anything else but goth. They are 100% goth. The things they do, goth. The music they listen to, goth. And the things I'm hearing a lot from some of these people now is, I do this, and I do that, and I do wear this, but I don't label myself. And that is destruction creeping in. When you've got goths saying, yeah, I'm goth, and I wear this, and I listen to that, and I go here, but I don't label myself. I don't call myself goth. So if anybody in the street says, what are you saying? I don't go, oh, well, I'm a goth. They don't always tell me what they do say, but it's probably alternative or whatever. But it tells me a story that we're sort of, without realising, killing it off, because there's too much of, if you're goth, you got to be this. If you're goth, you got to be that. If you're goth, you got to listen to this. You can't listen to that. If you're goth, you got to do this. You can't do that. This is goth, that's darkly inclined. I've mentioned all these things before. But you get people to the stage where they're up to here and they're going, I'm goth, I love being goth, I've always been goth, but man, it's bloody up to here now, I've had it up to here. I'm goth, I've always been goth, and I've always been bloody told I'm not goth, and if you like that, you're darkly and bloody inclined, you're not goth, and if you like that, you're something totally bloody different. And if you can understand where I'm coming from, it's the destruction from within. Now, I'm not saying everybody that puts this stuff out there is doing it deliberately. I don't think anybody does it deliberately. I don't think everybody realises the effect it can have on goths. But I think we've got to start thinking about it, and we've got to be the realistic goth, and be realistic and say, however much I'm traditional goth, however much I love traditional goth, however much goth is all about traditional and the 80s and this, and got to be realistic and say that isn't the be all and end all of everything anymore. The 80s, and I've said a lot of this before, the 80s is back there, it's in the 80s. It won't come back again. Once the years passed that it went 80s, 90s, the 80s weren't there anymore. It was the 90s, and then the 90s disappeared, and it's 2000s. And time does that. It moves on, and everything moves on. And within the goth subculture, tradition is a big part of it. The look is a big part of it. The music is a big part of it. But we've got all those years from them to now that have massed on top of it, and they all bring something new, and another little layer, another piece of the cake. So we can't say goth is that. It just isn't anymore. It's that plus. As soon as it was invented, it was created, it started evolving, and it's done it ever since. It will carry on evolving, and we've got to be a little bit more realistic and realise that each one of us are not going to be here forever. So whatever we feel, whatever we want it to be, you can only do that for a certain amount of time, and then you're not going to be here, and it's going to be passed on to someone else that maybe isn't going to feel that way. But if it's still here and it's called goth, and it's primarily more or less the same thing in a bigger shell, well, bloody whoopee. Let's not blooming harp and dwell on times past. They were glorious bloody times, and like I said, you can't get them back again. However hard you try, you cannot get them back again. Just impossible. And you can dress that part now, and if you really went out of your way, you could stand there and be as near to a 80 goth as you could be. But in general, if you got a lots of goths that say, I'm the real McCoy, I'm traditional, you could stand them there and say, take that off, take that off, take that off. What the heck is that? That wasn't around. No way. And you could pull a hell of a lot of it to pieces, because unless you go and you find the real McCoy stuff anywhere, and you really know what was there and what wasn't there, you're going to bloody falter, and you're going to be mimicking the 80s. And to the most of it, that's what we can do now. We can just mimic the 80s. We can't be the 80s or the 90s or whatever stretch you want to put into it. So we've got to be realistic, and that's how I come up with the name, the Realistic Goth, because I'm pretty realistic on these things. And probably some people don't like it. Probably some people, oh, you're bloody selling out or something. I don't think so. I want to see goth here in many years to come. Well, I won't see it here, but I want it to be here in years to come. And I've got no doubts it's going to be slightly different. It'll still be predominantly what it is now. You'll look at people and go, goth. But they won't look 100% the trad goth, they won't look 100% what goths are today, but they will still look at, people will know straight away when they look at them, you're goth. But it will have evolved, and it's the way of the world. And I think the sooner we realise that, the sooner we're going to stop rot from inside, because there's so many people now that, and like I said, I'm talking about ones that said, oh, I'm just not using the name goth anymore. Look goth, just not using the name goth anymore. But again, there's so many that have totally gone. So no, I've bloody had enough. I'm off to that subculture, that one. And we could say, well, if you could do that, you was never goth in the first place. No, it ain't quite right. You can be anything in life, and if something gets to you eventually, you think, oh, I'm fed up with all this bloody arsing around. I'm going to go and do something else that nobody's going to tell me any bloody thing. And like I said as well, if everybody in the goth subculture that's darkly inclined said, okay, let's do this, because this is how it sort of went from punk to goth and everything. What if we do this? How about if we call ourselves darkly inclined, inclines? I don't know, but we'll say darkly inclined. We'll skip the goth, push it over there, join us, we're the darkly inclined, and a subculture of the darkly inclined would grow up, and goth would really just peter out like lots of other subcultures, because there would be nothing left. So folks, I'd like people to think about that and become a little bit more realistic and realise you can be goth without being so flipping staunch on what it should be, and be more realistic on what it is. So I'm going to sod off and realistically have one of these. So catch you later.